There is one thing you need to remember, saints. A worldling is a worldling. Just because a worldling is woke, as they call it in the world, just because they have awakened to the scams of society, that does not mean they are a believer. A worldling may have awakened to the financial scams, to the structure of society, and that money is fiction, all of that. He may have awakened to all of those things, but still, he is a worldling. He's not a believer. He's not renewed in his mind. So he only renovated his mind with the same worldly concepts. He exchanged one worldly concept for another. So eventually, he is stuck to the approval of society. Maybe not mainstream society, but then the society of woke people. Look, as long as someone is not doing the will of the Heavenly Father, they are worldly. And worldly people crave validation. They live for the validation of others. That's a worldling. So even worldlings who are awake and who don't want anything to do with the satanic structure of the world, just because they oppose the world doesn't mean they're not part of the world. You have worldlings who oppose the world, but it doesn't mean that they are okay with Christ. There are a lot of worldlings who are so upset with society and the world, they even expose all the dark secrets of the world. They even protest and fight against injustice. But when you tell them, do you submit to Christ? Do you trust him? They suddenly begin to shiver. They suddenly say, nah man, that's fantasy. Or they begin to come up with excuses. Or they say, well, there are also other ways to do stuff. So just because someone resists evil doesn't mean they are on the good side. Am I saying that they are bad people? Automatically no. Even if they're not bad people, if they are still worldly, they are worldly. So sooner or later, that all that emotional and mental baggage you're carrying is going to affect you. Maybe you go through a financial difficulty and it's only a temporary thing. You already have a solution that's working out, but they're not aware of it. Let's say you already got accepted for a job as a freelancer and you get paid next week. But for now, you need like 20 euros. And so on, and a worldling who's woke borrows you 20 euros. And you're about to pay the individual next week anyway, when you get paid for that freelance job. Now, let's say that worldling's not aware you already had a freelance job after you asking for help. He may think, you know what? You should have a stable income by now. And then he may ask you, Jack, I don't want to be rude, but why don't you get a stable income right now? That will be much better for you. First of all, he's not aware that you already have a solution for the finances on his way. He doesn't know that. But look at that question. It's not really a question. It's a suggestion that you failed to match up with society's expectations to have a stable income. What's stable income? Giving in your life in exchange for a paycheck. And to get a paycheck, you need to submit to the expectations of society, allow yourself to be blackmailed and exploited just so that others have narcissistic supply. That is what having a stable income means. Say goodbye to freedom, say goodbye to creativity, say goodbye to options. You need a paycheck, so you need to do what other people want, because if people don't like you or can't stand you, you can't have a job, you won't have a paycheck, and you'll be homeless. That's what having a stable income means. Submit to the blackmail of society. Now, when that individual tells you that, you think, what? I thought this guy was woke. I thought he was aware. He is. But because he's not serving the God, he now needs a God to worship. And the God he's worshiping is societal approval. Even though he doesn't agree with society, he still needs something to get approval from. Because he doesn't rely on the approval and responsorship of the Heavenly Father. So, even worldlings who are awake and who fight against evil, even they can suggest bad stuff onto you, unbeknownst to them. Why? Because they're worldlings. They are restricted, and those restrictions are the only things they have. So please, get along with worldlings as far as you can, but don't be unequally yoked with them. Even worldlings who are awake are still worldlings. They may not be reprobates, they may not be child molesters, they may not be murderers, they may not be Baphomet sellouts, but the fact alone that they are not renewed in their mind, serving Christ, shows you there is some type of restriction they are clinging onto. Well, that's it for now. Keep in agreement with Christ and be at peace.